doing some high-tech astronomy work here.
Okay.
Apparently we need to grease up the gears a little bit, get this operation flowing. We get a little rusty. My name is Professor Brendan Britton. I teach astronomy here at the Community College Rhode Island. And I also run the Margaret Jacobi Observatory, where we have our 16-inch Schmidt-Cassegrain telescope. And me and fellow astronomy students and Astro Club members, we come out here, we observe objects, we do research, we do imaging, spectroscopy, and we also open up to the public on clear Wednesday nights. And for free, you can come down and bring your friends and take a look at this telescope, and we've got all kinds of nice things to show you, like star clusters and nebulae and galaxies, you name it. If it's up there, we look at it. When I was younger, I had a small refracting telescope in the closet, and I would use that to, look at stars and the moon and planets. It was just a cheap little thing, but I loved it dearly, and I was always sort of interested in sci-fi movies and things like that. So the name Triangle Forest is, it derives from like music synthesis for old 8-bit video games. Early Nintendo video games, they would use they had such limited memory to sort of allocate to sound production that they used 4 simple tone generators to make sound. There were 2 square waves which made kind of reedy lead tones like doo 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 doo, and then they had a noise wave that did the drums, which just sounded like psh psh psh, like a crappy little snare. The triangle waves were used for bass sounds. So the idea was that it was supposed to be like a little video gamey, and the idea was it was going to be a forest of triangle waves in a bass that would just sort of hit you in the solar plexus and knock you over. So around the time of, I don't know, maybe junior high school, I also got my first keyboard, and it was a crappy little Yamaha keyboard that my parents got for me at BJ's Wholesale Club in Johnston. So that was my very first keyboard. I played the hell out of it. I loved it so much. I knew every patch, I knew every little drum sample in it, and I tried to write as many little things on it as I could. My original bandmates were my brother Benjamin, so I guess I met him around 1 year old when he sort of showed up and became another human being to compete with over food. After college, we were both living in the same city for the first time in a while, and he played drums in a different band, and I wanted to start a band, so I said, hey, we should start a brother band, it'll be really fun. 3 of us started the band, I don't know, like 2005, so a long time ago. And, we just played some local shows, nothing fancy, just a towny band, but it's something to do besides work that's like fun and relatively wholesome, Kraftwerk was a band that melded bits of the Bauhaus movement and being a scientist with being a sound creator and a musician. Kraftwerk showed up with these like skinny ties, and they kind of built their own home-built computers and tone generators and made their own little drum machines before synthesizers were very popular. And I just thought they were so cool because they made this beautiful music with synthesizers, but their songs they would sing about like Marie Curie and radioactivity, or computer world, or fun on the Autobahn, and all these kind of cool science topics. So they showed me a path where you can blend making art and doing science together, and that was very inspirational for me. So I play the synthesizer, specifically I play the guitar because you can move around with it. And I use vocoders, I play a sort of digital guitar, I sing, and I can do some music production. I mess around with drums, but a lot of drum programming. Sometimes I just kind of sing and I mumble some stuff, and then I let whatever words match the syllables come out of my throat, and then I try to think about what it might mean afterwards, but I don't worry about it too much. I feel like the song kind of writes itself by what words should be there. And then after, maybe I'll kind of chisel them a little bit and maybe hedge them into a story. Sometimes I make up different words for some songs every time. So I wrote a song about Pluto because it was adorable. It's finally seeing the first image of Pluto, and it had a little icy heart for the Regio Tomba, and it's like, oh, I've been out here in the dark all this time, and I've been like, no one's been able to see me, but I've been orbiting the solar system, and I was like, this is kind of like a metaphor for being in a shitty band that nobody knows about. I think I used to have like a rock and roll dress code and a professor dress code and a kind of get stuff done dress code. And after college I needed a job, and I've spent most of my life in the university system, and it's a good place to be because you get to hang out and meet cool young people who are full of hope and inspiration, and you talk to them about abstract concepts that you like, and I think that's just a cool way to live, and I probably would be a better teacher than a researcher. But I think what's cool about CCRI is it's like a true cross-section of society, right? It's not just a bunch of homogenous 18-year-olds from the same sort of suburb. It's a school where there's people of all different ages, all different ethnicities, religions and philosophies, and I love having them all mixed together in this big alphabet soup, and you just learn a lot from people.
And so I'm Josh. I'm a tutor / kind of teacher's assistant for Brendan. I'm not a student at CCRI, I'm a student at the University of Rhode Island. When I was here about a year and a half ago, almost 2 years, in his class, Brendan's like, I don't have anyone to do my summer session. And I'm like, hey, I can help. And Brendan was like, cool, all right. So that's how I started it. It's a different experience for sure. I mean, I'd say the favorite part about it would be how I kind of found what I want to do in my life. I'm going to school to become a secondary education teacher, to teach high school and middle school. I would love to teach an astronomy class to middle schoolers or high schoolers. I'm actually at my former middle school, and they call what my experience is called a practicum. I'm doing my practicum, which is 45 required hours at Parkview Middle School. Astronomy, it's, for me, looking at stuff in the sky, like, you know, oh, here, that's Jupiter, or, you know, over there is Saturn, and knowing what's out there, and just looking at all sorts of things, and, you know, looking at the sky going by is just super relaxing, and I'd say that's been my favorite thing about astronomy. So the astronomy club was started by Daniel Borden, who was a student here last year. We started with a few members. Walden Santana, who's our president now. We started with a few other members as well, and it just has grown. Whenever I show someone a picture of Saturn or a picture of Jupiter, or someone sees Saturn or Jupiter for the first time, it absolutely blows their minds, and it's just like, whoa, that's really cool. And it's always cool to see someone's reaction. That's what I hope to bring in the astronomy club, is I want to kind of be that gateway to people seeing stuff, and, you know, seeing the moon or something like that. Yeah, taking images of your phone is just so cool, because you can just, everyone has an iPhone or something like that. So like, if anyone can just walk up to a telescope and try to take an image of Saturn or Jupiter or the moon or something, ends up becoming someone's wallpaper or someone's Instagram feed pic or something. Yeah, I enjoy doing all this. It's always a cool experience, you know, being around astronomy and being involved in it, in the Astro Club, and, you know, kind of getting even class members too to, you know, see some cool things that they would ordinarily see. So, yeah.
It would be fun to teach like a mathematics course, like, I don't know, like mathematics for drug dealers, and see if I could get them to do calculus while trying to parcel out kilos or something. I don't know if I'm allowed to do that. So. Hey, look, there's a bug in here. That's what's going on. This bug is bugging us up.
Oh no.
Oh. And I don't know actors that well, but...
All the girls say you look like Pedro Pascal.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my
Pedro,
gosh.
All right, Pedro Pascal. Zaddy vibes.
Don't!